The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning here at 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Chris Burton. In this morning for Alex, and making news around the nation, President Biden will speak to the country today about the Omicron surge. He's expected to unveil new steps to help communities tackle the highly contagious variant that has spread across the country alarmingly quickly, just as millions of Americans are traveling for Christmas. Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
With Omicron tearing across the country, now officially the dominant strain of COVID in the U.S., President Biden is preparing to address the nation today about his administration's response. It comes as the White House announced he tested negative following close contact with a staffer who tested positive. The CDC says the highly contagious Omicron variant now accounts for more than 73% of new cases, overtaking the Delta strain with startling speed.
That punch of a surge on top of depleted healthcare workforces, that's when mortality goes up. So this, I think, is going to be the most important thing I'm looking for in the president's remarks.
Overnight, Texas health officials announcing the first known Omicron-related death, an unvaccinated man with underlying health conditions. For the fully vaccinated and boosted, doctors are hopeful Omicron cases will be mild.
We're seeing breakthrough infections even in elderly people. If they're boosted, it's turning out to be really mild.
Like Pfizer before it, Moderna announcing its booster shot significantly increases protection against Omicron, leaving health officials with this Christmas wish.
And that we put aside all the political, ideological nonsense that gets in the way of our really doing a full, good public health job and get everybody who can be vaccinated.
Now, as Americans rush home for the holiday,
we're just going to wash our hands as much as we can, wear our masks, things like that.
Medical experts worry the Omicron surge is just getting started.
The White House says President Biden will address expanding access to testing today amid long lines at testing sites and difficulty getting at-home tests. The president also set to issue a stark warning about what this winter will look like for unvaccinated Americans. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Massive news breaking late last night out of the National Hockey League. NHL and NHL Players Association agreed to pause the current season amid a rise in COVID-19 cases around the league. Starting tomorrow, all team facilities and operations will be shut down through Saturday, December 26th. Players will return a day earlier from the holiday break to resume COVID testing, and all members of a team's traveling party will need to test negative to enter their team facility. The season will resume on Monday, December 27th as of now.
Former President Donald Trump, meantime, reveals he received a booster shot of the COVID-19 vaccine, drawing boos from a crowd in Dallas.
Both the president and I are vaxxed, and did you get the booster?
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so... Don't.
Trump made the disclosure during the final stop of the History Tour, a live interview show he's been doing with former Fox News host Bill O'Reilly. Trump has refused to urge his supporters to take the vaccine, even though Republicans remain far less likely than Democrats to be protected.
And now to a look at the coronavirus pandemic here at home. Kern Public Health reported 457 new cases from over the weekend. There were no new deaths. There are still no confirmed cases of the Omicron variant here in Kern, but there are more than 1,500 cases of the Delta variant. According to state data, 120 people are hospitalized locally with the coronavirus, while 29 are fighting for their lives in local ICUs.
And now to your 17 Crime Watch and the arrest of a Kern County firefighter after investigators say they found more than 500 images of suspected child pornography in his possession. The sheriff's department says 35-year-old Christopher Vega was arrested yesterday at his home and is being held on $2 million bail. Detectives served search warrants Friday at multiple locations in a child porn investigation and say they identified Vega as a suspect. The images were reportedly found on devices seized from his home and place of employment. Vega's due in court tomorrow. Anyone with additional information is asked to call KCSO at 861-3110 or the secret witness line at 322-4040.
Tense moments for those in a local hospital last night after a gun went off inside the building. It happened at Adventist Health Bakersfield around 11 p.m. last night. According to BPD, an elderly man went to visit his wife at the hospital, and when he was trying to unload his firearm, it accidentally went off. No one was hit. Police say they seized the firearm, but no arrests were made.
Your time now is 5:07. New details this morning in a smash and grab incident at Valley Plaza Mall earlier this month. The 4 burglars who smashed a display case at Kevin Jewelers stole about $100,000 in merchandise. That's according to a recent court filing obtained by 17 News. Police say no arrests have been made in the December 9th incident. Anyone with information is urged to call Bakersfield Police at 327-7111. A Kern County firefighter has been arrested after investigators say they found more than 500 images of suspected child pornography in his possession. The sheriff's department says 35-year-old Christopher Vega was arrested yesterday at his home and is being held on $2 million bail. He's due in court tomorrow.
It's been 1 year since Orrin and Orson West and Dane Elkins were both reported missing. After long and heavy searches, both cases remain full of questions.
You can't do that part.
1 year ago, twin mysteries struck Central California, altering the lives of 2 families forever. A 22-year-old college student who left his phone, wallet, and car behind, and 2 young boys who disappeared from their adoptive parents' backyard. Neither has been found.
I missed him obviously very much. I missed all of his life lessons he taught me, and he was a great brother. You know, I hope to see him soon. It's been a really long time, but I hope he's doing all right wherever he is, and I love him.
A racquetball national champion and engineering student at UC Santa Cruz, Dane Elkins seemingly abandoned his car with a flat tire just north of Santa Clarita. He had recently been experiencing mental distress, according to his mother.
He's a wonderful brother. He's a wonderful son. And he is just suffering from what unfortunately many people suffer from, mental illness.
Elkins has reportedly been spotted in Oakdale, Mojave, and the Kern River Valley. Meanwhile, the search continues for Orrin and Orson West.
I don't feel like they're deceased. I feel like somebody have them, and it might not be in California, but I don't know.
4-year-old Orrin and 3-year-old Orson were reported missing by their adoptive parents, who say they vanished from the family's backyard. The mission to find the 2 has been long, and so far has turned up more questions than answers. Anyone with information on the boys or their disappearance is asked to call the Kern Secret Witness Hotline at 661-322-4040.
17's Christian Galeno will have more on the West Boys case tonight. The special report, Where Are the Boys?, premieres on 17 News at 6.
17 News is your local election headquarters. The California Citizens Redistricting Commission late last night unanimously approved new congressional and state legislative maps. As we've been reporting, the commission has been hearing public input, and the Central Valley has been a hotly contested region. The redrawing of district boundaries takes place once a decade, and we have a link to the newly drawn boundaries up on our website, kget.com. We'll have more on how Kern County is impacted tonight on 17 News at 5.
When announcing a multi-million-dollar plan aimed at reducing crime in California last week, Governor Gavin Newsom pointed to Kern County and its soaring homicide rate as an example of what needs to change.
It's interesting, the murder capital, tragically, in California is Kern County. It's just not a red or blue issue.
In a press conference announcing a $320 million plan to fight crime in California, Newsom called out Kern County, insisting there wasn't a political motive, but Kern's district attorney disagrees.
Of course there is. Why is he going to call out L.A.? His buddy George Gascon is the district attorney down there, and I don't think he wanted to talk about his failures, but lash out at the county that voted to recall him by 60%.
Either way, with rising crime rates throughout the state and a recent boom of smash and grab robberies, public safety seems poised to become a dominant issue and political football in the 2022 election cycle. And that seems to have already started, with Republican Assemblyman Vince Fong joining the partisan divide, saying Democrats' policies lay the groundwork for skyrocketing crime. And Kern's DA agreed, highlighting the disconnect between a Democratic governor and local officials in conservative, hard-on-crime counties.
Your time now is 5:36. The Bakersfield-Kern Regional Homeless Collaborative and Mayor Karen Go are inviting you to gather in memory of people experiencing homelessness who died this year. Studies across the world have confirmed the relationship between a lack of housing and increased mortality rates. Research shows homeless persons are 3 to 4 times more likely to die than the general population. That's why community members and local leaders are gathering for the Homeless Persons Memorial Vigil to remember those lives lost this year through prayer, reflection, and music. It's happening at 10 a.m. at the historic Union Cemetery on East Potomac Avenue. Anyone is welcome to attend. There are some local holiday attractions still open for business. Holiday Lights at Calm is going on now through January 1st. The drive-through light experience is open every night except Christmas Day. Admission is $30 per vehicle. And on January 2nd, Calm is welcoming bike riders to cruise through the massive light display for just $10. All proceeds benefit the Calm Foundation. Christmas Town at Pioneer Village is running every day through January 1st as well. This year's event offers both a drive-through and walk-through experience. There are more holiday attractions like hay rides and a giant Christmas tree. Tickets start at $25. And this is the final week for you to stop by Dustin's Diner. Come sip hot cocoa, eat some baked goods, and stroll through the Hagen Oaks neighborhood to see all of the beautiful Christmas lights. Every dollar raised is donated to the Bakersfield Homeless Center. Dustin's Diner runs through this Thursday and opens at 6 p.m. at 2301 Hagen Oaks Boulevard near the Marketplace.
And just a reminder, the time is running out on our KGET coat and blanket drive for our local homeless population. Here's a look at what our community has provided so far, and in actuality, it's a lot more than this. We've been taking those boxes and bins kind of in donation, so we're seeing a lot more donation than just what you're seeing here, but it is really incredible, the generosity of this community. In 2021, more than 2,000 people in Kern reported experiencing homelessness at some point. That's a 27% increase compared to 2020, and now is a chance for those more fortunate to give back to our community. You can donate new or gently used coats and blankets right here at KGET Studios at 22nd and L Streets in downtown Bakersfield. The drive is going on now through this Wednesday. Again, there's just a couple days left.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.